Hey guys, what's up? Wanted to talk today about something that's happened to me a few times. Well, I am an atheist and I enjoy discussing religion because people's beliefs fascinate me and something I've always been interested in. I've always wondered why people believe things, the stories behind um, why someone believes a certain doctrine. In some of these conversations, I have these kind of conversations a lot. In some of them, I get the argument of, well, how can you be so arrogant as to not believe in a God? And I think that's arrogant. I think it's arrogant to propose that you know which religion is right. So that brings us to agnosticism. Now, a lot of people misjudge agnosticism. Agnosticism is not, I don't know if there's a God. Rather, agnosticism is, as it pertains to God, is it's impossible to know for certain if there is a God. That we don't know these things. We merely believe them and that we can be wrong. So then the argument that's always here is, well, if humans can be wrong, since I'm a human, well, can't I be wrong about humans being wrong? And I don't think I'm wrong on this one. I really don't. As late as the 17th century, people believed that the Earth was flat. They were human, and they were wrong. Humans are fallible. That's a fact. However, we must be careful not to slip into radical skepticism here. And radical skepticism says that all knowledge is unknowable. Bernard Russell wrote that skepticism, while logically impeccable, is psychologically impossible. So we have reason and critical thinking and rational inquiry. And so I think that we have certain truths that can go past this kind of radical skepticism. Things like, a chair is a chair. If you get into quantum mechanics, you start talking about how it's mostly empty space. But at the same time, you can see it. It's a chair. Kind of a weird example, but it's what came to mind. Now, this is hard to swallow because it denotes that everyone is agnostic, because no one can know. It's uncomfortable to not know. It's a human thing to have a fear of the unknown, to want to know. So the only real difference between someone who believes in a God and who doesn't believe in a God is if they're agnostic theist or agnostic atheist. An agnostic theist is someone who says, I don't know that there's a God, but I believe in one. An agnostic atheist is someone who doesn't know that there is a God and does not believe that there's a God. So why am I an atheist? Well, like I just stated, I'm actually an agnostic atheist by definition. But I'm an atheist because there's a couple reasons. One of them is that there's not enough evidence for me. Another one is that it just doesn't make sense to me. A lot of the major world religions, I don't see God acting in a way that's portrayed in these religions. I also don't need God to be good. I don't need God or a book to tell me what's morally right. And I don't need God to make the world seem more amazing than it already is. The only thing that I could agree with would be pantheism. And that's the notion that we are all God, experiencing each other subjectively. Remember that. We are subjective. We're human. We are subjective in this universe. Now, for us to describe even the idea of God is beyond our experience, because our finite minds cannot fathom the idea of anything that's infinite. That's why we always want a beginning, whether it's the Big Bang or a creation story, or we want an ending, like the prospects of heaven and hell. while they're not endings, they're conclusion. They give us closure. It's sort of like a fish trying to describe the water that it swims in. So those are my thoughts right now. And what do you think? Leave some comments in the space below, post a video response, and let me know what your reaction is.